All right, so I'm going to improve the readability of the code right now. It's a small change. It's this section in here, this app section. And yes, I just don't like having too much detail inside the render method of our app class. So what I'd like to do is replace this with a return of the, so here we're returning the loading screen, login form, maybe I'll turn that into login screen, and then we have return the click screen. Right? And when we do that, we need to pass in all of this stuff. We need to pass this in. That's the click screen, right? So we're going to pass that in. Oh, because we can do the Ajax call in there. Let's go ahead and figure this out. Let's do the click screen, the loading screen there. I'll put the click screen down here. So var click screen equals react dot create class, and then we have a render method. And what we render in there is this business here. There it is. So we render the click count, the click button, and then the logout button. There we go. Now the thing is, we need to fix that. We need to figure out how to pass in these properties. So this is the click count handler here. Now let's look at what does this click count. I'm sorry, that's the click count value. And we're maintaining the click count way up at the top level here. And so that means we're going to pass it down. So this dot state, it's no longer a state, it'll have to be a property. So click count will have to be a property. So we're going to pass it in there as a property. So click count is a property. There it is. And we're going to send in other stuff. And then we need, when the click button is clicked, we have this on click button handler here. Now, can I move that down? So this is where we increase the click count. So I'd like to put the Ajax down in there. So this is what I want to do. I don't want the app class to get big. So I'm going to put this up here. This is on, I'm going to call it it's on click button, right? We could put it in the click button itself. This is the click screen. Maybe we'll put it here, click button, because we need to know the click count has to get passed down to it. No, maybe it goes in the click button actually. So maybe this, so what we're going to do, we have a click button. So in the click button, we'll do the Ajax in there. So we got to we got to run the Ajax in here. That's the way I like to do it. So what is this? Like record click, add click, record click .php, and then we're going to pass into it nothing, and then we have the response. All right, so when we get that thing, we're going to need to ultimately, well, we've got to fix this. It won't be this exactly. But we have to tell our parent that that we have a new set of clicks. So we could do it like, when we record click, do we want the server to return the number of clicks? That'll help. That'll work better if the user is logged in from multiple devices and or multiple browser instances, and then the user could be hitting the click button from multiple clients, and we would be getting the up-to-date click count, if we were to, if that's important to us. When it's not hard to return the click count. So I guess we're going to have to do it. So instead of record click, I'll do, I guess record click. We're just going to call it click. So I better say add click. I'm going to go back to record click. So record click, because it just clicked, sounds like maybe we're just getting the click. So I want to make sure we're recording a click. And that'll return the number of clicks. So that means we can do is we're going to do set clicks. And we're going to pass in the number of clicks here. So it'll be the click count. That's if we get a successful response. So we need to have set clicks passed down to us. So in the click screen, we have to pass in the set clicks property. So set clicks, and once again, that's number of clicks is going to be maintained up in the app element, which just goes all the way up to the top. That's kind of unfortunate, but that's how it's working out. So when we render this thing, we have to get, we want to render the click button. We have to pass in this, the set clicks. So we set clicks here, set clicks, there we go. But that's going to come in as a property because we don't implement set clicks. That's the app class. Same with the logout button. We don't implement on logout. That's passed to us as a property from the app class. So why is that being an error there? Oh yeah, we got to do this. It's very nice that the render. So this should be all in a return statement actually. Return there we go. So the click screen has a It doesn't have an on-click button. That's not correct. All it has is a render method. And it's going to get the click counts, the set clicks, and on logout. It's going to get these as properties, which it passes to, these child elements. So those three properties have to be passed to the click screen. So here's the click screen. So we have I forgot what they were already. So this is set clicks, set clicks. I'm in app, right? Set clicks is set clicks. We need that. What else do we need? Login. So it's on, no, not login. What was it? Set clicks, oh, logout rather, and the click count. So logout, so on logout equals this dot on logout, and then set clicks, and then the other one was the click count set in as a property. And I think it won't have a space in there normally. This dot state dot click count. All right, that's a big long one there, isn't it? So I'm going to break that up into multiple lines. And the problem is we got so many properties that it gets confusing to look at. And look at that, just by refactoring, you see a bug. And we don't need this. Drop this down the next line. There we go. So this is our click screen. That's the information that needs, the properties rather, that need to be passed into the click screen. Now we need set click, we need on logout, and we need, well, click count is already defined, on logout is already defined, but we don't have set click. So we're going to change this to set click. Set click. And these are the clicks, or the click count. Should be set click count maybe. Set state click count. And this will be just click count. The click count that's being passed in. All right, this is a lot nicer. That's good. All right. So I think we've got, although I want to get login screen here, I would do it now. Just to show how it's nice to make it consistent. Return login screen. So everything's a screen, right? Return login screen. We have to pass down this property. That's got to be passed in there. So we need a login. We go loading screen, a login screen, and a click screen. So let's get the login screen. That's the click screen. Var login screen. Create class. And this is the render method. Save that. And we just want to return the login form, that's all. And we need to pass the property, the onLogin handler. So that's a property being passed to us. Now we got that. So now we have a nice simple looking render method for the app. Either we, depending on our state, we return the loading screen, the login screen, or the click screen. Now we're still working on click screen here. There it is. So the click screen shows the click count. That's done. There's a click button. We'll need to check on that one. Then there's the logout button. That one is done. So it's the click button is what we need to work on. And there's the click button there. You know, these screens are a little spread out there. Let me get this little, try to keep it clean. Login screen. Maybe I need to move up with the login business there. Anyway, here is the click button is what we got to work on here. So what happens when the click button is clicked? Well, it's going to be an AJAX call. So I'm just going to grab this and drop it in here. Record click. If the result is, you know, what happens if the user logs out or something like that? I mean, I'm not sure. That's maybe, let's stick with this. We'll have a result is some kind of, I'm not sure if we want to use a failure there or not. Let's leave that alone for now. If the result is a success, then what we want to do is, you know, we have set clicks, response dot click count. There it is, right there, because we're going to return that. And then if there's an error, then we display the error. Otherwise, there's no result attribute. You see, it's possible that the user is it possible to log out? I think I'll just get rid of that. Get rid of failure. I'm not going to think too hard about that one. So that's the, oh, that's, I had it right there, set clicks, right? This should be identical. Let's see if that's the case. Look at that. That was what I was anticipating. And so that's our AJAX call. And when we got a success response, then we're going to find the click count in the message, and we pass it to set clicks. And set clicks was passed into us right there. So now all we need to do is implement record click. Let me go into React, and that's going to be similar to maybe the login. So let's copy the login script to record click.php. And I'll get rid of that. I don't need, do we need a init? Record click. Now record click does not get any data, so we can leave this out. Now if the, yeah, you know, that's what it is. We got to see if the user's logged in. we can't just do this because anybody can create this. Anybody can create this a message to increase the click count. But actually, if the user's not there, it won't affect the database because they won't be able to find the user record because there's no session object. So we do want to check to see, just in case something weird is going on there. This is a init, and let's grab that. So if there's the username's not in the session, that means we're not logged in. So somehow we're getting a request that's doesn't make any sense. All right, why? We're not going to display the click count button if the user is not logged in. But just in case, let's go ahead and do this. It could be like the user has multiple tabs open. He logs out in one tab, clicks the button in the other tab. You know, that we can design for that if we want. So I guess we can do that, not logged in. That means if we were designing for that, then we do have another case here. Which is the result is not logged in. And so in this case, what we can do is, you know, I don't want to design for that. Let's just let's skip that for now. We're getting too sophisticated. So we got to keep it simple at this point. We can consider those cases later. We'll just check to see if the incoming message, if they're not logged in, we're just going to return. That's it. That's just to keep a guard there. And then otherwise, we'll pull the username out. And we're going to use that. Where was it? I'll look in the. Was it track 2? Track 1. This is it right here. Page views. It's going to be just like this. Look at that. And then we're going to pop it out like that. So that's, there's the code. It's just like page views. Oh, wait a minute. Did we do this? The click count. Login. Oh, it was login, wasn't it? I think we did it in login. But we don't have that code there. We didn't put that code in there. Yeah, so we use that code. We'll drop that in there. That dropped in nicely. So we want to update users. Set click count equals click count plus 1. And then we do that, and then we turn around. Oh, it's for that specific user. We don't do all the users. So it's where username equals :username. And then we want to select click count from users where username equals username. And then that's so we get it. Now we're going to fetch that. Then we're going to get the click count from the row. Click count. And then we don't need this. We need the bind parameter. So once we do this, we're going to bind the parameter here. Username, we're going to put the username in there. Same with this one. And then we want to check for these things for 0 rows. So we can ignore it maybe. This is well, let's not ignore it. So before we try to pull the click count out, or before we do a fetch rather, let's see if there's anything to fetch. The response is you know, a failure, or something unknown has happened. We can work on that later. And then, so we have a row, we can fetch it, pull out the click count. And then we'll return that click count. Oh, I like this one better, because this one is not spelled quite the way I was spelling it down here, without an underscore. So we take the click count out here, and then we return it. Result, success, click count is the click count. And that's it right there. I think that should do it. Let's check it. And log that out. I'm going to reload. And I thought we logged out. Log out. Reload. Log out is not working. What's going on there? Log out is not working. So let me check that logout business. Here's the login. This is the logout button. So we have the onLogout handler here. I'm sure it's down in the app. So, you know, this is the click screen. OnLogout is an attribute that's being passed down. There's onLogout. Here we set the state, the click count to null. That's how we log out. We could fix that or change that, but so I think we're passing in this onLogout handler, which does this correctly. So if this click count is null, then we show the login screen. So I think this is not running, and that's not being set to null. So we don't show the login screen. We come back down and we'll show this stuff. So I think this click screen is not processing the onLogout property correctly. So let's look at the click screen. And this is the logout button. So we have an onLogout. It's being passed in there. It's passed in as a property, right? OnLogout is passed down as a property. Wait, is that by the click count? Yeah, that's the onLogout. It's being passed to the logout button as an onLogout property. So this logout button has a a property. So its handler, this dot on logouts, comes in as a property on logout. So I don't get it. Why is that not working? So, I guess we're just got to put in some alerts here. I don't get it. So on logout in the logout button class, on logout. Oh, now it's working. Well, maybe I didn't reload the application or something. I don't get what happened there. So here we are. Oh, I see what's happening. We log out. When I reload, we're still logged in. Oh, okay, that's the problem. So we log out, and then log out. So this on logout gets called. Let's do that down here. Wait, where do we actually do the logout? Do we ever call this logout? I don't think we ever do. We never call logout. We never call logout in here. Watch, I'll show you. I'm gonna find Ajax. That's where we have. It's an Ajax. That's an Ajax call. So we're not logging out there. Not logging out there. We're not logging out anywhere. So we need to log out here. Let's just get that to work. So this is login. Let's go ahead and log out. So this application was working without that. We thought we were logging out, but we really weren't. So let's call logout, and there's no data that needs to get passed to the server. So let's pass in null as our second argument, and the response. What does logout do? Do we ever return anything? We don't do anything here. This is all we do is close the session. We do nothing else. So there's no response. We just do this. We just do. Well, if we get an error, then there's a problem. Otherwise, we can log them out. So we can assume that it's the user has been logged out. So if the response is an error because maybe there was a connection problem, remember our Ajax code constructs the Ajax code will construct an error message here. See, there was a problem with a request. This will run if there's like a network connection problem where the server goes down. So it's possible to get an error. Let's handle that. And then and that means we're not logged out, but who knows what. If the server crashed, then it doesn't matter. So otherwise, we let the parent, we let our parent know that we logged out by calling the onLogout handler. So I think that should do it. All right, so I'm going to reload this. And when we log out, and I'm going to reload that, we are in fact logged out. Okay. So Alice, we do click me. See that? And when I reload, I should get 4 for Alice. And it is there. Look at that. Alice, a login as Alice, we get 4. We log in as Bob, we should get 0. And we're going to put 2 on the Bob. See that? And we log out as Bob, we log in as Alice, we're back to 4. Log out as Alice and back in as Bob, we're back to 2. We got it working. This is it. We have the application working 100%. Of course, it does need styling. It doesn't look great, but we got it. We finished it. I think that I better double check it. Wait a minute. We got anything else to do? I think that's it. Little things, can improve error handling and those weird cases that I mentioned, and we handle some weird cases, but we don't handle all of them. So we could harden the application at this point, but I believe at this point it's in pretty good shape. Well, we could try one thing. That nah, let's not do any more. That's enough.